Good evening. Loser points, baby. Boom. Collect those loser points, huh? Utah Hockey Club. Welcome to After the Buzzer. My name is Keith Schertz. I run things here at Hive State Hockey. Good evening. Thanks for staying up late with me tonight. And let's talk a little bit Utah Hockey Club as they go down to the Minnesota Wild, the top team in the Central Division, by overtime loss in the shootout. The Wild get the 5-4 win. And, Utah Hockey Club, they brought this on themselves. This is one of those games where they played well enough. Excuse me. I'm choked up because of the way that they let that one slide away. They had the lead. Gustafsson goes to the bench. They go empty net for the Wild. They attack for the last 2 minutes with an empty net. And then Marco Rossi gets the game-tying goal with 44 seconds left. It was a beauty of a snipe by Marco Rossi. What a player, huh? Good player. Matt Boldy, good player. Kirill Kaprizov, good player. All super young, all going to be a problem for Utah Hockey Club for many years to come. Especially Kirill the Thrill. What a terrific comeback by the Minnesota Wild. And, it just stinks. It stinks because they had this game. It was in their hands. They had an opportunity to take away both the points of this game. They just couldn't hang on for that last 44 seconds. So, tough one. Very tough one. And then in overtime, the best opportunity was probably Utah Hockey Club's right at the buzzer. Nick Schmaltz from Logan Cooley. Cooley is just, I love watching Logan Cooley. I love the things that he's putting together for this team. He's an impressive player. But yes, there we are. I know I jumped into it right away. If this is your first time being with us here at After the Buzzer, welcome very much to you. We're excited to have you here. Please feel free to interact in the chat like my guy Car Wash Channel, the greatest channel to go through car washes on all of YouTube. You want to go check out my guy Car Wash Channel if you want to feel like you're going through a car wash. When you were a kid, you begged your parents to take you through the car wash. You wanted the opportunity to go through it. Anyway, it's enough. You can do that whenever you want now because of our friend Car Wash Channel, who's always here faithfully. And if this is your returning visit with us, congratulations once again on exceedingly fine taste. If it's your first time, welcome very much, my friends. Please enjoy being here with us. Let's have a little bit of fun tonight, talk about this Utah Hockey Club team. Looking kind of spiffy tonight, I gotta say. Feeling good today. I had a couple interviews and a couple meetings that I needed to take, and so yeah, it was a great day. I was feeling good about it. I thought, I'll just leave it on. Why not look a little spiffy? We trimmed the beard back a little bit. So Utah Hockey Club. Snatching a loser point when you had every reason to win this game. What a frustrating turn of events that game was, right? So, first of all, there was the Kevin Stenlin got the great goal early. That fourth line continues to be great between Alex Kerfoot and Kevin Stenlin, and the good work being put in by Michael Carcone. So, continuing to appreciate what the fourth line will bring. They're bringing offense to Utah Hockey Club, and as they continue to bring offense for Utah Hockey Club, it becomes a really fascinating thing to watch. To watch that be an advantage for this team. It is quite an advantage for this team, and also in the overtime, Kevin Stenlin doing the good work of winning both of the faceoffs that he was asked to go out there and win. It's a big deal getting possession in that overtime 3-on-3, and he was able to deliver that and give Utah a chance to at least have a possession of the puck, even though there was a little bit gun-shy shooting and attacking the net. Sergachev, huh? It's kind of rough. Kind of rough there for our friend Mikhail Sergachev tonight. Love Mikhail Sergachev, as anyone who's been around here knows. He's been excellent. He's definitely proven his place as a number one defenseman, can be the anchor of your team. I definitely believe that he is the guy. If he's your top defenseman, that's actually he's can give you enough in enough different ways that you can make a very deep playoff run with a guy like Mikhail Sergachev. But that was a rough one tonight. A little bit of a rough one for my friend Mikhail Sergachev. He had the really terrible giveaway. Kuznetsov, he had the easy walk straight to the net. It was a shootout shot as a penalty shot for him, and he was able to get the finish on Vejmelka. Later on, another bad giveaway, kind of lazy, and Kirill Kaprizov found the puck on his stick, and Sergachev was lazy on the back check, did not help out his partner in Oli Mata, and the next thing you know, there were 2 goals in the back of the net at the end of the second period, and both of them were because Mikhail Sergachev, who's been great, I think he might make the All-Star team even this year, but he has, that was not great. That won't go on his highlight reel. Third period, what won't go on the highlight reel are the stupid penalties that the Minnesota Wild were taking. It was wild how many, it was wild how many penalties the Wild were taking. They gave too many opportunities, and the power play by all means tonight gave some different looks and some better opportunities. I think Keller needs to shoot more. I think he just needs to shoot more. Yeah, that's true. Sergachev did have 2 assists. He did come up with a couple assists on the power plays in that third period. He did bring it back in that third period. The second period was pretty rough. But welcome, Scott. I think you're new here. Appreciate you coming in. Our guy, Car Wash Channel, again, they're the number 1 team in the West for a reason right now. We want to get winning against them the next time we play them. Yeah, for sure. I think the thing with Minnesota too, like just to put this in perspective, they had a full extra day's rest advantage on Utah Hockey Club. And usually that leads to a victory if you have even just a full day's extra rest on Utah Hockey Club. Or any team. That's just one of those things that can really help you. It's the third game in 4 nights for Utah Hockey Club, and to get 5 points in this 3-game stretch, that's nothing to be upset about. That's pretty good over the last 3 games. The game against Buffalo, the game against Philadelphia, they looked pretty self-assured. They had an opportunity to win tonight. They let it slip through their fingers. They gave away that shot by Marco Rossi when they went empty net, and they were able to capitalize on that. So all Utah had to do was survive another 44 seconds. They weren't able to get it done, and then they lose in the shootout. And the goal by Boldy in the shootout, huh? How cool was that? I mean, sometimes you gotta tip the hat to somebody when they make a great play. And on that shootout, that forehand, backhand, and then the lift, ooh, that was nice. So yeah, just all night defensive breakdowns that came in particular the 2 in the second period with Sergachev. Those were atypical of what we've seen from this team. This team was giving up less than 2 goals a game over the course of the 9 previous games. Tonight they give up 4, and then obviously the 5th is given in that overtime to make the scoreboard look a little different. But I think that the offside call was unfortunate. That play that got the goal that wasn't, that was awesome movement, and I appreciated the way that worked with Dylan Guenther being in front of the net. McBain finding him there. Again, driving the net and creating chaos in front of the net is a great way to score goals, and to do it on the rush, I think could really be the advantage of this team. It's one of the big differences we've seen in the increase in their goal scoring clip over the last 10 games. So I think, it sucked. It was out of the zone. It's just one of those things. It was offside, but the 2 power play goals were great. The good deflection, again, you send the puck to the net. Lawson Krause gets his 2nd assist of the season. He sends the puck to the net. Puck pops up into the air. Valimaki jumps on it. 2 goals in 2 games for our friend Juuso Valimaki. They just needed to announce that he was going to be in the Four Nations face-off, 2 months ago, and he'd have 15 goals for this team right now. Valimaki did a great job of driving the net, continuing to pursue the play after the shot came in, and was able to find the loose change in front and quickly pounce on that and get it into the back of the net. So, again, the way this team is generating offense, the way that they're putting themselves in a position to get pucks into the back of the net is coming primarily on the efforts that they're making to drive to the net. They're coming on the rush primarily when you see it from the run of play on the 5-on-5. Obviously, 2 power play goals tonight. That is something that they don't do a lot of, scoring power play goals. Coming into the game tonight, Utah Hockey Club had, they had only scored 13 power play goals in 74 opportunities. Tonight, they get 2. So they increased their output by a lot. They were 27th in the league entering the game tonight. They now move up to 24th in the league. So it's good to see them score a couple power play goals. And I'm back to Clayton Keller needs to get more shots. He's too good at shooting the puck. And part of what I wonder is obviously he is looking for the right seams and the right opportunities to score as many as he can. He doesn't want to just shoot for the sake of it. I got that. But I would also love to see, excuse me, a situation where we're seeing more shots come onto the net by Clayton Keller, especially on the power play. Those who've been around and been with us a few times, we've mostly seen that umbrella look with Sergachev in the middle of the point, Keller on the right wing, you got Gunther on the left wing, you put Schmaltz on the bumper, and then you throw kind of Logan Cooley. Tonight, one of the things they did that was really effective and opened up more spaces, they had Logan Cooley going to a bunch of different spots on the ice. So the other 4 basically stay where they always stay on the power play. But tonight, you got to see Logan Cooley make a lot more movement. He didn't stay posted down low. He didn't wait for passes to be made to him down low. And for whatever reason, they're not taking that option very often to pass down low and then let Logan Cooley work from down low. So Logan Cooley was moving out and cycling around, and he was doing the process of kind of changing the angles and creating 2 players out on the point, being out by Sergachev, and then kind of getting to a point where there were 2 players in the right wing circle, and then he would even occasionally make his way over to the left wing. That was only a couple times, but mostly he was still working on that right side. And that movement by Logan Cooley did more to kind of adjust and shift the geometry of the ice. This created a little bit more space for Clayton Keller, and then when Clayton Keller got his first power play goal, it's because it had cycled from the left-hand side quickly over to the right-hand side and he had space. The second time it was because Logan Cooley was here. The defenseman didn't make a move out towards Clayton Keller because he wanted to account for Logan Cooley's position as he was creeping towards the slot. And so that was one of those really important things to watch and to observe in this game, was that they gave a different look on the power play tonight, and it worked. It worked. They had 3 power play opportunities. They scored on 2 of them, and it was the reason that they came back, had the lead and command of the game, and a chance to potentially come away at least with the loser point tonight. So it's a good thing to get a loser point. It's a good thing to try to find your way into more and more points. I was looking at my, and I had it posted on my YouTube channel. I predicted every single game of the season up to this point. And I had through 28 games, which is how many they've played this year. Through 28 games, I had them at 28 points. And here, that was the prediction I made. And today, 28 games, 28 points. So not so bad. So they're on about the pace that they're at. That's bad news in terms of making the playoffs. It probably puts them just short of the playoffs. But this is the time of the season where they need to pick up the pace and get a lot more games to start kind of going their way. So they have a real opportunity coming up here against Colorado. This is a game, well, they're going to go to Colorado, and that'll be their next game. There is basically even a rest advantage, but this is one of those games where I kind of feel like, you got to go and take it to Colorado. This team has the ability to create problems and play good hockey and do some of the right things. So I think with this late game collapse and feeling like they were close against the best team in the Western Conference in terms of points, now they're going to go play one of the big boys with the pedigree. They've lifted the cup recently. Nate McKinnon obviously is unbelievable player. Rantanen and all the other great players. Mikhail Makar, for heaven's sakes, what a great team. They're going to have a huge opportunity to play such a terrific team and go in and see if they can create a little havoc and get a win. I think this is a game that I actually kind of like the spot for the Utah Hockey Club going on the road and getting that one done. The next game that they'll have then is against San Jose. They, if you remember, have played San Jose already this season and collapsed. So these are both teams that Utah needs to get their first win against, get a little revenge on them. And I think that there's a chance that on this road trip they can go do that. And then they're going to play the Vancouver Canucks. They're back at home for that. So just another 2-game road trip. Another opportunity to try to get another winning streak. I hope it doesn't take 2 months to get our next winning streak the way it did the first time. But I do think it'll be an important thing for us to do. Hey, while we're in the middle of the broadcast, if we can just take a second, if you're enjoying the broadcast and the stream and you like being here with us, if you could just give us the thumbs up just underneath on the thing, it just helps more people find what we're doing here. Also, if you can give us a little subscribe action and love, we have that. Some of you are already subscribed, but we appreciate you. We appreciate you hanging out with us again tonight. Okay, one of the big things that I wanted to ask of those of you who are here, you've had a chance to watch a little more. Almost a third of this season has happened, which is crazy. It's a crazy thing to think about. Actually, a third of this season has happened. So, we're 1/3 of the way there. You've had a lot of opportunities to see this team. I'd love to see in the chat if you could give me just who are the players that you love on this team. Who are your favorite players? Who are the guys that you like the way they play? I'd love to see you weigh in on that. And let's talk a little bit about some of the players who you see coming along or players where you like the promise of them, but you know that there's some progress that needs to be made there. This season, for me, the biggest surprise has been Michael Kesselring. I think Michael Kesselring's development this season, with the injuries to John Marino and to Sean Durzi, it has really made it. I thought that Kesselring was going to be a third pair defenseman and be playing like maybe 10 minutes a night, maybe 12 minutes a night, not be playing almost 20 minutes a night the way he is. But I think he's been really good. I think that this team has got somebody that you could absolutely slot into your second pair defensive grouping and feel really confident with him there. I think that you throw out, obviously Olimata, not going to be here long. Ian Cole's not going to be here long. But Sean Dursey, Sergachev's on a long-term deal. So between Sean Dursey and Sergachev, I think they're both here for at least another 4 or 5 years. Kesselring's a player they're going to retain. I know they signed him this last offseason for maybe a 2-year deal, as sort of a prove-it deal. I think he's proving it. I've really been pleased with what we're seeing from Michael Kesselring. So big number 7 on the blue line. That has been one of my favorite developments of this season. He's been a player that's been that has caught me off guard, that I've really enjoyed watching this season. The other player, of course, I think one of the things we had to see from Logan Cooley this year was improvement in relations to winning faceoffs. If he wanted to be a center long term, he couldn't continue to do what he did when he was a rookie. And when he was a rookie, he was one of the worst faceoff guys in the entire league. He won like 35% of his draws. It was really bad. He's not quite at 50, but it's jumped over 10 percentage points up. He's done a good job of getting better in that way. And then defensively, we're seeing him become a menace and become better and better as a defensive hockey player. And so those are developments that I love to see. And then as he gets more comfortable with what they're trying to do, we've seen him settle into more of the attack for Utah Hockey Club over the last little bit here. So those are my guys. I mean, it's not hard to say, oh, Logan Cooley's awesome, but Logan Cooley's awesome. The other player that's been a great surprise for me this year, and that I've really enjoyed, just like the way he kind of goes about his business and does some of the things on the ice, that's Michael Kesselring. So a couple of players I've liked, just giving you that prompt. If there's any player on the Utah Hockey Club that you've grown to have some personal love and affection for, you just like their game, the way they play, I'd love to hear that from you. So we'll do that. The other part of this is, this is another game now. Utah Hockey Club has had trouble finishing out. They've had trouble finding their way to finish out games. They have blown the lead a few times this season, and I don't know who you blame, or if you look at youth for that, if you wonder about Andre Tourné and try to make some decisions about what he is bringing to the table to try to adjust and hold the fort for his team. I mean, by and large, this is a game that, again, without the 2 really big defensive blunders by Sergachev in the second period, I mean, this is a game we definitely win. I think, though, that the overall process of what this team faced tonight, I thought Vejmelka, was reasonable. He faced 38 shots. He saved 34 of them. That's just under 90%. Like, it's reasonable. It's not great, but it's reasonable. I thought that the way that they went about their business tonight was decent. And obviously, it's not great to give up as many shots as they did in the first period. That was eye-opening, and again, that looked like maybe rest advantage stuff. I don't know. But 17-5 in the first period, I mean, it was it's why hockey is such a strange game, because that entire period was played in the Utah zone, it felt like, and Minnesota was just racking up shots left and right. They were really in control of what was going on, and then we went into the break, and it was 1-0 Utah Hockey Club on the strength of Kevin Stenlund. It was really, really strange. They were outshot in the second, and then on the benefit of 2 power plays, they outshoot Minnesota by 1 in the third period. And in the overtime, it says 4-3 in favor of Utah in terms of shots. So in regulation, they only came up with 21 shots. That's 7 a period. That's really not enough shots. If you want to be a team that really is scary on the offensive side, I think you've got to find a way to drive more opportunities on the offensive end. I think that, again, they do too much cycling away from the net and trying to get into a system and trying to create cross-seam passes. And what I'd love them to do, and what I like it when we see them in the system and they're working their way through their system and the cycle, I like it when they get it down low and the team contracts and then they move out towards the blue line and then they move back in and then they get their shot. I prefer that much more than entering into the zone and getting to the half board and then turning your shoulder, getting your back to the goalie and starting to work your way back. You got to contract them down more. You got to get them tighter down to the net, and then you got to get them to chase you back out. And if they don't, then you have a chance to throw it into the mixer. And if they do, then you're going to open up space and give yourself opportunity to come back into the net and find your way into good scoring opportunities. So just a couple little things that I hope we continue to see some of the development on. Really encouraged again from what I saw on the power play tonight. And even though he didn't get any assists on it, the difference in the power play attack tonight really came in the form of Logan Cooley. Cooley was the one that was moving in different positions and working his way around that power play attack and going into different areas and creating kind of changing where the eyes of the penalty killers were from Minnesota. And in doing so, created that space that helped Clayton Keller get a couple great shots on. And again, he is so skilled at shooting the puck. I just would love to see him get more shots off. It's really a nice criticism to get in some ways is that you need to become more selfish shooting the puck, Clayton Keller. This team needs you to shoot more. You're too good at shooting. You're too lethal with it. And, your playmaking is good. There's been a lot of assists by Clayton Keller this year, but it's like we need somebody that can put the puck in the back of the net. If he starts doing that with more frequency, like what's going to happen the next time they're on the power play is now teams are going to be more concerned because Keller hasn't really looked for his shot on that right wing. Now you really need to cheat over a whole lot more and go out and chase that more. Now those crossing, Schmaltz is going to get more space in the middle, and you're going to get more opportunities to swing the puck over to the left wing and maybe find, Gunther with more opportunities to shoot and a little bit more space to shoot. So these are all positive developments. We've got to have the power play attacking efficiently and generating goals from all the different areas of the ice. And, the next place that because Sergachev's been scoring from the point. Obviously, Gunther scored from that left circle tonight. We're getting some points coming in, goals coming in from the right wing. Now it's time to find Schmaltz and see if he can score from the bumper position. And Logan Cooley continuing to kind of rover and find his way around. I think that's another way that they can continue to make the power play even more effective out there, so that it's not as easy to defend against, where you're just playing compact, 4-in tight. You make sure that you're taking away the cross-seam passes, and you let them just kind of cycle it from the right wing to the point, left wing to the point, right wing to the point, right wing to the point, left wing to the point, and then somebody finally gets bored and shoots. They became more difficult to defend on the power play tonight. So that is an unbelievable development. It's absolutely something that needed to happen. And again, it was because of the scheme changes of how they were using Logan Cooley in those circumstances. So yeah. So really happy with how that went. Really happy with how that went. Okay. And then the other part I thought that was just a little bit interesting is that in the shootout they went Schmaltz, Keller, Bukestad. If you want, I know last season Nick Bukestad was really good in the shootout, so that's why I saw him there. Bukestad was an effective guy in the shootout, so when his name was called, that was something that I wasn't necessarily surprised at, but I wondered how many Utah Hockey Club fans were. They're like, Bukestad? Weird. That third line doesn't do it. Sometimes it's hard to even remember that Lawson, Krause, and Michelli and Bukestad ever played. Third line is still brutal. The fit of that group is not working right now. I know that traditionally there's been some good synergy between Lawson Krause and Matthias Michelli. I'm not seeing it this season. In the 2024-2025 season, I'm not seeing it at this point. So it'll be a fascinating thing to continue to watch and see if the third line can find a way to get going and find a way to kind of capitalize on some of those things. Fourth line continues to be an incredible asset for this team. Really, I'm really pleased with what you get from Carcone and Kerfoot and Stenlin. As things currently stand, they've been playing good hockey over the last 5-6 games, and it's been a huge difference maker in how many goals are going on the board, how many more opportunities Utah Hockey Club is able to generate that are scary, where there's a little bit of guile behind the shot coming off the end of the stick. And again, you love to see Kevin Stenlin finding a way to find goals right now. That is just not something that you would expect to have him have 3 goals in 3 games, but here we are. So we like seeing people score goals. We like seeing Juuso Valimaki score 2 goals in 2 games, and we hope that will continue. And then the McBain and Gunther and Cooley line, for me, that continues to be the most effective line that they have on the ice. Barrett Hayton and Schmaltz and Keller, again, are playing well. As they played pretty well tonight. Obviously, Keller on the power play was really good, but as a 5-on-5 line, that group had a couple moments where Hayton got really tough in front of the net and gave them a presence right in front of the net that, again, I love to see a player like that get down in there. Hayton is this like hard-working player asset, and then he's got these two, like snipers who want to one-time everything. and so I'm not sure that the fit between Barrett Hayton and Keller and Schmaltz works. Obviously, Keller and Schmaltz like playing together, and there's been a lot of work put in to try to figure out who that third player is with them. Obviously, there's a need for somebody who's got a little steel to him, a little bit of toughness, a little bit of grit, and all that stuff to go out on the ice with those two, just to provide a little bit of extra there. So anyway, I think that this team continues to avoid forechecking. They do not send it in deep very often. There's not a lot of chip and chase going on. One of the things that I saw entering the game tonight, Utah Hockey Club in relation to hits this season, and you don't have to be a wildly physical team in order to be super successful, but they are out-physicaled pretty consistently. Entering the game tonight, they had taken more hits than they had given out, to the tune of 253 more hits. So Utah Hockey Club has absorbed 253 more hits than they've given. That ratio puts them at minus 253 on the differential. That's last in the NHL. So that's evidence of not forechecking. That is pretty big evidence of not forechecking. And honestly, when you're on the back check, it's a lot of like sticks instead of bodies. And so I know who these players are. I know that they're not necessarily out there to go and make all the hits in the world and create all those, collisions. But I would just say that I would love to see them find a way to add a little physicality to their game, because I just don't believe, especially in the Western Conference, I don't believe that you can be a team that can avoid physicality and actually make a run and advance in the Stanley Cup playoffs. If the point is that we're building to that, to being a cup contending team and doing it with some regularity, they need their players to be comfortable going and making hits. And the problem is that Clayton Keller, well, should he hit? Probably not. Schmaltz, is he going to hit? No. He's going to skate really hard and try to get his stick in there. Barrett Hayton, I think he's okay taking a hit or two and trying to play in those ways. But that is difficult. Same thing. Dylan Guenther, should he be making hit? No. Cooley, not yet. He's 20. His body still has to come around. He's not ready to do that yet, right? Jack McBain can make some hits, okay? And so that's the thing. On the top two lines, you feel like you have one guy that is definitely a physical presence that can provide you those sort of things on the ice. They need to find more physicality. The third line is usually your checking line, but Matthias Michelli is definitely not out there to check. You're not seeing a lot of it from Nick Bukestad. It used to be the calling card of Lawson Krause. He's currently second on the team in total hits that he's delivered, but I would say that, I don't remember any of the hits by Lawson Krause. So while he reportedly is making hits, they're not memorable. So there's that. And then the fourth line, again, it's a kind of a unique fourth line. There's not a lot of checking there, but Kerfoot does get in and he does make hits. You definitely see some hits from Stenlund, but Stenlund wants to do more stick work as well. And then you have Carcone, who is willing to get a little bit physical, but he's not a massively, intimidating presence. And then on the blue line, it's really interesting to watch all the blue liners. Sergachev is somebody who will lay a hit from time to time, but it's not something he's going out, looking to do. He's not headhunting. He's not trying to take the body in a big way. And you're not really seeing it from Kesselring or any of the, Mata or Cole or Bortuzzo. Valimaki certainly is not somebody that's trying to lay anyone out. So it's an interesting group. And if you're not hitting anybody, then, the thing that must be the case is that you're playing with some speed and you're putting yourself in a position to not have to be physical because you're just out skating and just running up and down that ice in such a way that, it intimidates the other team because you've got so much team speed on the ice. And if your sticks are good and you're generating chances just by stick checking and getting the puck back via stick check, then you ought to be able to find ways to get good breakouts, get through the neutral zone with speed, and just bear down on the goalie. So we'll see. I mean, obviously the neutral zone at this point, getting through the neutral zone with speed is not something that's happening all that frequently for Utah Hockey Club. Obviously, the breakouts that they're having are not generating, breakaway opportunities very, very frequently. That is something that I believe Guenther and Cooley could be elite at if they had the right people feeding them the puck and putting them in positions to really, get through the neutral zone with speed. I'd love to see that come along and be a development by the end of this season. I'd like to see more of those opportunities come along. So I think it's an interesting problem is what do you do when you have a bunch of young talented players who all want to be good snipers, and they've got good shots, and then their bodies aren't necessarily developed or ready to play a punishing physical style. You get kind of what the Utah Hockey Club is, and that's a team that, is going to take about half the points from the games that they play this year. We predicted at the beginning of the year in that video that we did where we predicted all 82 games, we predicted 87 points, just above half the points that they'll take. 87 points in 82 games. That probably misses the playoff just barely. It probably makes them the 9th team in the West. And, that's really the track that this team is on at this point. So that kind of tells you, to kind of rack up half your points when you're not playing physically, when you're not an excellent power play team, when you're not an excellent penalty kill team. It does speak to some of the talent and ability of the players on the team. The next question is can you put pieces around that top-end talent that then elevate everything else? And then beyond that, can they develop the personality of a team that does kind of the tough stuff and finds some of the puck luck goals that Stanley Cup champion teams are able to get. So, okay, that's everything I have for you tonight. Heartbreaker, losing in the overtime, 44 seconds away from victory. They let Marco Rossi steal a goal with an empty net on the other end. They never even got a good look at that empty net. They never even got a good look at that empty net. And when they got one of their icings, man, they were not close to winning the next draw. They really blew that one. So, anyway, that defensive zone draw, in that circumstance, they really needed to find a way to get that near the end of the game. But 44 seconds away from victory and 2 points, and then they end up walking away with 1 point. So they get the loser point. They lose in overtime to the Minnesota Wild, who are now tied with Winnipeg as the best team in the Western Conference of the National Hockey League and the NHL in general, actually. So no other team except for the Winnipeg Jets has 42 points like the Minnesota Wild. So Wild are having a very good season, very good team. They're going to be a thorn in the side of Utah Hockey Club for many years to come. Between Faber, who's young and talented, holy crap. Marco Rossi, young and talented, holy crap. Kirill Kaprizov, oh my gosh, right? He might be the MVP of the league this year. Matt Boldy, between those 4 players, and then if Gustafson can be as strong as he has been at times in the net, I mean, this is a dangerous, dangerous team for years to come and will be a problem for Utah Hockey Club as we proceed going forward. So that's one of the things that we'll have to watch out for. It's one of the things that they're going to have to deal with as the rest of this season goes along. And quite frankly, Utah Hockey Club is going to have to add some more of those pieces that give you an opportunity to be as tough as the Minnesota Wild are. They're going to have to play with some of the strength. And Kaprizov, that's like a great study. If you could get to a point where Logan Cooley was sort of as tough or as strong as Kirill Kaprizov, I think that'd be really, really a nice development for this team. And then they have players like Marcus Foligno who have ways of helping you win games. They score points, but they also beat up people. So Marcus Foligno is a great addition to that. He's sort of the Jack McBain of their group. But anyway, Car Wash, thank you for hanging out with me. Have a great evening, and we'll see you on the next stream, my friend. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. Again, if this is your first time here, we'd love to see you around here again. And if you are like our good friend Car Wash, we will definitely be looking for you next time after the buzzer when they play the Colorado Avalanche on Thursday night. We will see you next time. Good night from Utah.